Also begun remediating the mold, which is an impossible job. So you can see where some of the mold killing agent has been there and where I've sprayed it, but it isn't even working yet. That is all black mold, and it is on near every surface in here. Black mold, black mold, black mold. That is not in part of the basement. That is everywhere in the basement. I'm in the lower unit where there has been dramatic change in less than 48 hours. So we are directly below where I just filmed upstairs, same exact part of the house. Behind the stove, this corner area and this tile has all suddenly dipped down. The floor in this corner, it was a sudden shift. A sudden shift down, noticeable to the point where it's hard to walk there, which also occurs in the bathroom area. And there are suddenly tiles popping up and cracking that were not popping up or cracking prior to the last 48 hours. It is this, the whole floor is just moving and moving downward and moving very fast. In this area, this is the top story, there has been a slight difference, but noticeable, in the angle of the floor going down back towards this area. From here to here. And it's noticeable because now the toilet's at a different angle. Back into this sort of kitchen area. It almost like is meeting. This would be the middle point where it is coming down like this. That has been a change over the last just 48 to 72 hours. This is new cracking under the archway. This is new all the way up. Now here's where the big stuff comes in. That is because of water under the paint, evaporating into and under the paint from below. That is what the FEMA building engineer taught me. These have gotten massively huge and cracked open just in the last 48 hours. All of this damage here, staining, cracking, rapid bulging, cracking, changing. All that bubbling is all water, and that I saw a few bubbles last week when I took possession, but this massive increase and these cracks, which again are hard to see in video, were not there. That is new. That crack is since last night. This crack was not there. It's now there since last night. And we come up here, this discoloration is all new. 24 hours. This has gotten much, much larger, and it is caving out. It's coming outward is what's happening very rapidly. severe and sudden changes within the last 48 hours. This has gotten just huge compared to what it was. And it is bulging outward and coming outward. Some bulging there. Over in here, this cracking, new bulging out. So, crack, you can see a little bit better there how far that is, which is on just the opposite side. And that comes out to this door is directly above the damage on the top porch, which happened suddenly because of movement in the house. There was a tiny bit of white on this maybe a week ago. This has all happened in 48 hours. So it is Tuesday since Saturday. And you can see where the separation is happening, or raising, I should say, where the floor is separating from that beam. 48 hours. You can see how the rest of it did look. There were 0 issues here. And then you can see where we're at compared to all of this damage. There's the sidewalk where it's caving in. We're under the porch, which has been known to be caving in as where one of the sinkholes is located. And now let's go downstairs and we'll see how it all relates. Where ground zero of the sidewalk is, where one of the sinkholes is directly under the middle of the porch, and I'm standing on the top porch because this is where it is no longer even, and it is literally pulled away because of the movement of the house. As it pulled away, it has opened up gaps. These gaps did not exist. This was not filled in. You can tell by the fact that there was no paint in there. It has moved and opened up that much so that any of the little bit of filling was there is now gone. Again, this was not here like this 48 hours ago. I believe that's what's causing the damage in the roof of the bottom porch. And if you look at the peeling paint, this is not peeling because of age, even though it's old. Because if I touch the paint, it comes off in sheets because of the moisture content from the water sitting under the home, basically because of the sinkholes. So if I were to touch this, the paint just comes off in a giant sheet. Which that's how it did here. It just comes off in a sheet. And that is not how old paint begins to come off. This patio, this top porch, I should say, is tipped at a far greater angle downward. So the porch itself here is actually going down in this area. There has been a lot of movement in 48 hours. And you can see the location of the sinkhole, which is hard to see with the grass. And right above the sinkhole. You can also see that the entry slab to the porch is tilted far more than it was to the right and down. The stairs are definitely not level anymore at all. It is just shifting so rapidly. Up here, and you can see how much deeper the pitting is and how rapidly it's happening. It is now completely sunk in here. Cracks everywhere. And this is directly across from the area on the sidewalk. I would just call it ground zero. This is exactly above where the porch is separated because of movement of the house. Because the front part of the porch is separated, the damage here is all, this is within the last 72 hours. This roof on this was perfectly stained, and I noticed a little bit of white, I think the last video I took a week or so ago, but all this, 48 hours.